I'm Yad. Thank you for joining us today. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing, Dale?
Okay, very nice to meet you, buddy. So, thank you for joining us. I searched, I couldn't find your bio. So, I'm not sure if you sent it to me or not, but it doesn't matter. Why don't you tell us how long you've been doing this and how it began for you, who motivated you, who was the catalyst for you getting involved in this financial Disneyland, and how much do you bench press? You look like a big guy, man. I'd rather have you as a friend than an adversary. So, why don't you tell us about the beginning of your journey into trading, Yad?
Yeah, it started back in '09. One of my friends gave me a book about forex trading. So I
Okay.
catched up on that, read through it. You know, the usual stuff: indicators, what's the foreign currency exchange, the whole shebang. So that got me into it a little bit, but I didn't really start trading forex back then. I more got into stock trading. As I happened to be at the time, I was just enrolling into military. So I've catched up with one of my friends down military as well. He was interested into stock trading, so we were stock trading together all along, just trading buddies basically. It
Well,
went
what
all the way.
military? Where are you from, and where do you trade from, Yad?
So right now I trade from Scotland, but I was in military in Iran.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a
Wow.
stretch, right?
Okay, so you have quite a geopolitical background. Let me ask you this, and I am getting an echo. I don't know if it's me. Why did you leave Iran, and how did you choose Scotland as being anywhere in the globe that you could have chosen? Why Scotland?
Um, as a matter of fact, I was born in Germany, Dale, and
Okay.
then I was there until I was like 12, 13. Then moved to Iran for a while, and I met my wife who is Scottish, so that's why I moved
Oh,
down
okay.
here.
Now I look. We know as a husband myself, buddy. We're gonna go where where the wife's family is, right? Huh? Now, come on, who wears the pants in the family? We say we do, but we know who does. So that's a great
It's
explanation. How do you like living there? Because I want to mention something. I interview some pretty famous guys, and that are real, bearish. They're talking about war cycles and pandemic cycles and sovereign debt default cycles. And one of them is Martin Armstrong. And when I
uh-huh.
was when I was talking to Marty, and he was talking about all these potential crises that are developing in the world, I said, well, Marty, I don't want to be in the middle of it. I'd rather watch it on TV. And
Mm.
it was hard for me to get it out of him, but he mentioned two places to be that it will not be chaotic, and he mentioned Scotland and an island off of New Zealand. So, wow, man, great choice. So no matter what happens, if markets crash and everything, you're in the right spot. Much better than the Middle East anyway, where you're going to have to duck if you live there, right?
I imagine so. That's right, buddy.
So, why don't you tell us, did you have any mentors yourself, or are you pretty self-taught?
I was a yes and no. So I was a pretty tough and pretty famous stock trader back in Iran who we attended his classes, me and my military buddy. So he mentored us way, but it was more really stock market related and Iranian stock market, so the Tehran Stock Exchange. I moved on to that, and in 2011, 2012, started actively trading forex based on technical analysis mostly. Where stock market I used to do technical and fundamental, but it was a bit different because I wasn't really up to date with English either back then. So it was difficult to extract fundamentals from forex when you can't understand the language. So I've done little bit technical. Back then, developed my own system. Pretty much took some losses, blew account on one probably, and then took it from there, and it's been great ever since. So it worked out. Had a stock background, knew how to deal with risk, and knew you can lose, and I know if you get it right, you can get it right really good.
Okay, so we have a feature here in Hangout, Miad. It's in the upper left-hand corner, the green box with the arrow. If you click that, we could do a screen share and take a look at what you're looking at. Every day you could share your laptop, desktop, and show us some charts and give us a feel for what you've developed, your own proprietary stuff that, we all think that what we're doing is original, but a lot of it isn't. So, okay, I got your chart up here. Are you a big candlestick guy? Did you read Steve Neeson? Who influenced you to use sticks instead of bars?
Um,
Why
Good
candlesticks?
question. I've really fell into line charts and candlesticks. I know I was in the tuition of the bar chartists, so I never really had an opportunity to engage too much with bars. And when I was already too deep into candlesticks, it felt uncomfortable to work with bars. You see.
I get it. Yeah.
Uh,
So are candles part of your system? Knowing what I don't know how many different definitions there are for different types of candles, but is that part of the equation where you identify what type of candle you have and what the implications of the moves in the market will be?
Absolutely. So the way I approach it, I always look for the main driver, the dynamics, what's driving, where are we going? Are we liquidity searching? Is market pushing because it's scared? Is it or is there any other things coming up? So that's the whole driver in the back of my mind. Candlesticks help me to understand what the market is absorbing from the background information. But it's more the broader picture. Sometimes I bring in volume into the game to just see how levels are reacting together with candlesticks, merging that with volume. That sometimes helps to get a deeper understanding, and usually take it from there.
Let me ask you this. We had a red event today, the NFP. Do you hold positions into the NFP, or do you wait for red events to take place and then react to them?
Usually I like to take position the day before it, but as it happened to be, let me show you your USD chart right here.
So you like to carry positions into the NFP.
Absolutely, because I usually have a mindset where things are going. I like to say I try to stay well informed. So NFP result could be one thing, but it always depends what the market reacting to it, isn't it? So could be good
Yes.
NFP results, and you see it plummeting. It's not always indicative. You want to see what the market thinks about good NFP numbers. It definitely didn't escape it. We had great NFP numbers. That's what was 295K.
Yeah, the headline was great. The underlying wasn't as great.
Because the hourly earnings
Wages.
went down.
Yeah.
However, I think that's still quite bullish. I think a lot of people were scared that the hike is off. It's sort of back on in the game, isn't it?
Yes. So someone in
So
here commented that they love your German, Iranian, Scottish accent.
that's it.
All
That's
right.
it.
So you said you mainly trade intraday. So that kind of flies in the face of you looking for things to do the day before the NFP. So you do swing trade, don't you?
I do swing trade. I do enjoy intraday moves because they unfold quicker.
Okay.
That's really the main reason behind it. They unfold quicker, and you can be in a hustle and bustle when things are happening right there. But when you're swing trading, you can see your floating PLL is going crazy all the time. But what I'm usually after, Dale, is no-brainer trades. So if I form an idea that something is supposed to happen in the background of the market, and I see a signal going with it, then that's when I step in. I just
Okay.
that's
So
just
you
how I'm
you
swing trading.
start with your biases, and then you look for technical confirmation of your bias.
Absolutely. So for
Okay, I've
instance,
got it. So give me an example. You were going to talk about the pound. So you had a bias coming into the NFP on the pound, and technically it
Uh,
was confirmed.
it wasn't on the pound. It was on the fiber, Euro USD.
Okay.
I get to the pound. The pound
Okay.
is getting pounded lately a lot as well. I'm get there. So what I've got is a daily chart of the Euro USD. Right. Let me zoom in a
Right.
bit.
See
That's the
it.
daily chart. Here we had
Okay.
this big green candle. That's when Draghi disappointed the
Yeah.
market a bit. And
Yeah.
here was the shakeout from the 5 minute earlier tweet from FT that shook out the market, where they said, don't know if you heard about it.
I remember the day.
So that was a great move. I was already short on that and just got closed out. To be honest, I wasn't on the up move. I was already short into that event, and then just got
Okay.
shaken out. Back and forth, we had a couple of good plays shorting it, but my whole consensus towards euro was that it's supposed to go down into the March meeting further, and then further probably easing from the EU. However, down here, if you see that candle there, or even
Yeah.
both candles, these are commonly known as pin bars.
Right.
Not every pin bar is really a big mover, or even a mover at all. You could see these two pin bars that didn't move at all. But I was really concerned about them too. I felt like they moved into a really nice liquidity cluster here, rejected it, had low volume. It was sort of a good setup for a signal for me to buy. However, my bias is short, so I wouldn't be looking to hold this out for too long. Managed to get an entry about 1.088. Currently sitting at break even on my account, but it's running good, but I'm not really holding out for this one too long. As again, my bias is that I'm looking for the Euro USD to roll lower.
Okay. So with this recent bounce, that I think
Mhm.
probably a lot of it was everyone looking for 104 again. That we have one more rally before we start heading down again. Based
Mhm.
upon what you see, what I see on your charts, there's no reason for me to short the euro yet. What are you looking for? Do you have any zones where you're looking to initiate short positions for what you're
Absolutely.
expecting out of the ECB? When's the ECB? I think next week.
That sounds about right. So I'm hoping the ECB delivers and says they're going to ease and just basically play into the hands of the speculators. So do you see the breakout here we had not a long while
Yes.
ago,
Yeah.
around here? And to that area, if I get a signal, I would be looking to, I'd be looking to short further and I hold on to my position, move into break even, and see what happens. See if I can get see if I can get into the oh 04, as you mentioned, levels, because that's my ultimate goal. That's to the EU. The pound's been really
Well, before
interesting.
we leave the EU,
Yep.
do you have a intermediate term bias on the euro that the March lows that you showed that Draghi event, and then we retested it a few months ago, that eventually we're going to take out 104, 105? Or do you think that the alternate count is before that happens, we might even see 115 again? So
My,
are
my,
you a long-term euro bear still?
yeah, I'm absolutely am. There's
Okay.
there's there's structural no reason for me to believe otherwise.
Okay.
So
Got
technicals aren't really playing into the speculative way if you're looking at the global macro. However, I would say so. It should. What I understand from my understanding is that it should move lower.
it. Okay. And your major resistance areas between here and say 110.70.
So that would be my first play to look at. If that gets tripped, then I wait. Then I will wait probably for higher levels. But for now, given that we had good NFP numbers, this is moving up. I don't have any other explanation but liquidity surge.
Yeah, too many bears. That's the explanation.
That's a bear trap.
Yeah. So, okay. Have your view on the euro. You said you wanted to move to cable next. Why don't you go
A
ahead?
cable or even other related ones. So we've got a cable here. We had this great gap last week, didn't we? Right there.
Yeah, that was
And
after an EU meeting that it looked like there was going to be a solution and there wouldn't be a Brexit. We rallied, and then the following Monday, Sunday night, we gapped down.
that's
Correct?
right. That's right.
Okay.
And it kept on falling and falling and falling. So what happened is Cameron thought that he's got some sort of a deal, and then the bad thing was that the mayor of the city, Boris Johnson, said, "I think we're better off if you leave the EU." So that created a lot of havoc in the Conservatives. I think the market didn't take that well. So we had a nice 450 move down there with a gap 550. But that's always the thing with a gap, Dale. Don't know, it might be just me, but a lot of my trading friends say the same. It always feels like when there's a gap, there's like dead bodies left behind waiting to get buried.
Yeah.
So
So we didn't quite get into the gap area. Most people say gaps are meant to be filled.
yeah,
But there are some gaps that aren't filled for eons.
that's
They're not
absolutely
just
right.
area gaps. You don't have many gaps in the FX market because of the 24-hour nature of it. You have a lot more gaps in stocks because they close, and here we never close. So there are some gaps that aren't closed for a long time. There's
You're
different kinds of
absolutely right.
gaps. There's a breakaway gap, a runaway gap, an exhaustion gap. I learned about gaps, but you really don't have a lot of gaps in the FX arena. So is your belief that it looks like you'd have a trend line up there, confluence of the gap being filled and a downtrend coming in around the same area, up there around that 143.44 level?
We speak the same language, Dale. There you are. So that's my consensus. I don't have any bullish bias on the cable whatsoever on the sterling. I don't believe there's any reason for it to rally anywhere apart from really just trying to take out some clusters or dealers trying to balance the books. There's still Brexit fear going on. People are not sure about how people are going to vote down in Britain. If they're going to leave the EU, a lot of things are going to change, and that's creating a lot of uncertainty for investors. So I don't think we see any great inflows into the GBP, and that
Okay.
will reflect. I think you're going to see a better reflect against the CCY currencies as they're currently really doing good.
What currencies?
CCY, so currencies like against the Aussie, the
Oh, okay. All right.
EV.
So you like trading the cable against the commodity currencies, those crosses?
Absolutely. Reason is, I strongly believe we are getting back into the, it's not confirmed yet, but I strongly believe we're getting back into the RORO scheme again, i.e. Risk on, risk off. It kind of faded away 2, 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So back in the 2, 3 years ago, it was pretty easy to gauge what's happening. If there was risk on, risk off, you could see the commodities going up and down easily like that, or everybody buying into the yen when they got
Okay.
scared. Lately, I've
So you're implying, yeah, we used to have dollar down, everything up. When it was risk on, it was the dollar declining and everything going up. And that's kind of changed in the last 6 months, where actually a stronger dollar has meant risk on, and a weaker dollar has meant risk off. So
yeah,
you think we're gonna revert back to a weaker dollar being risk on instead of
I
a
I I strongly like to see it. I don't really have 100% confirmation on that yet, but the way things are developing, I highly believe we're falling back into that. That doesn't mean necessarily it's easier to make money or it's going to be a bit more difficult. It just means we have to adapt to the new dynamics.
okay. All right. So yeah, you need to see that correlation shift for a period of time before you believe that correlation is going to hold, because that threw a lot of people off over the last year. Dollar down, they expected stocks to go up, and it's
Absolutely.
actually it's actually been the reverse.
That's right.
So, okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit about and us about what ZVX trading is and what you do there?
CFX trading, what I do there, see between the early years when I was doing forex and just doing technical, I used the line charts a lot, and there I came across sort of a pattern that developed just before market rallied, mostly on lower time frames, and I developed a bit more, studied it further, made it my own. And on my webpage, I explain about it, what the pattern is. It's basically a fractal pattern that allows you to enter the market when it's exhausted itself. It's just pushing up, and just before it wants to revert, you could see the pattern.
Do you have an example you could show?
For today, for instance, let me move on to the line charts. We've got, for instance, one over at the, it's pretty much a Z pattern right there on the 4 hourly. I move back onto the candlestick chart. This one would be for me a Z pattern. It's one of the forms of Z pattern. I go a little bit more into depth on the web page, but that would be a Z pattern for me.
This is your own company, Z Trading.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a company. It's more education web page, and like to interact with other traders.
Okay, so you teach and mentor.
Yeah, I would say so. It's not a business yet, but just try to go along with other traders as well. It's just keeping social.
Okay.
Back to the so that for me would be a Z pattern. I recall I've traded this breakout a little bit lower because I wasn't active on that day, but from there on we had a nice break. We already had a downtrend, so that would have been for me a valid Z pattern. Also trade into a good zone. And after that we had a pretty good drop after that. So sort of stuff like that. But it's really working on the line charts, going back into the candlestick, and then getting confirmation a little bit from the background as well. But I think it should. It's a great pattern if you like to use it in conjunction with your own analysis, and it's just another way of getting a signal out of the market.
Okay, so anything you want to wrap it with? You want to show people your web page, and I've already given people that Miad's. Am I pronouncing your name correct? Is it Miad?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and your Twitter handle is at ZFX Trading. Is your Twitter handle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why don't we just switch gears and wrap it? What do you think about the nuclear accord between the U.S. and Iran? And you still have family back there, and the recent elections looks like it was a bit of a kind of a confirmation of a little bit more of the progressives in Iran, kind of almost like an affirmation of Rouhani's policies. Iran is a dynamic economy. It's an ancient civilization. Are you hopeful that they may be on the verge of re-entering the world community long term, or is this just a little detour on the road? And do you ever go back there?
Let's start with the last question first. Yeah, I certainly go back there. I've got my mother down there, so yeah, I will definitely go and visit her. It's I think it's always a different mindset when you've been in a country or you just heard about it on the news, especially Middle Eastern country. When you look at it in the news, you just think like that's a wreck. I don't really want to go there. It's just not safe. As it happens to be, they are quite safe, and feel quite safe going there. Lived there for a while as well. It's just, we're all humans, we're all the same. And nobody really wants to.
And the demographics are very positive. Very positive. It's a very young country. The demographics, great demographics of a young population. So it could be an emerging economy in the Middle East. You know, I don't want to get into politics of what's happening, you know, Syria-wise and all of that. Why don't I ask you what the U.S. looks like from Scotland and your background with the devolution of rhetoric in the U.S. silly political season here. What are people saying in Scotland about what's happening in the U.S. presidential season? Go ahead. It's my show. You can say anything. Go ahead.
Right. Everybody's pretty much thinking that that Trump is just out of his mind. You know, he's got no way to become a president. America, United States, is a strong country. It's lean economies. You know, if things go pear shaped with somebody with Trump at the head, then that's nothing you really want to relate yourself with, to, isn't it?
Yes.
I put it in the most nicest way I could. My friends have got different ideas
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? You could be a diplomat. You could be an ambassador. So very diplomatic response from your multicultural background and geographic location, Miad. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure
I
to do that.
encourage people to check out Miad's proprietary Z pattern. It
Yes,
could be
sir.
another tool for people to put in their trading arsenal. And I wish you nothing but success and pips rain down on you and people you teach and your family
You too,
throughout
my
this
friend.
year, Miad. Thank you for bearing with me when I double booked our interview a few
That's
months
all right.
ago,
Don't
and
worry. You owe me a pint.
appreciate you coming on.
No, that's all right. It was a great day, great NFP numbers. I enjoyed the interview. It's great chatting with you, and look forward to see you again.
Okay, well, you know what you are now? You've joined the stable of my trading warrior brothers. Good hunting, Miad, and
There
thank
you
you
are.
very much for your time today.
Shield and swords. Take
Okay,
care.
buddy. All right, you could close the
Bye.
hangout anytime, and always feel free to jump into LAR, share your work. I really am a big believer in social trading. Being surrounded by traders better than me has lifted my level of trading up. So if you ever want to come in and contribute, you always have an open invitation. Okay, partner?
Thanks,
All right,
Tail.
buddy. Everyone
Well,
thank Miad
thank you, guys.
Kasravi for his sharing his work and taking time out of a busy trading day to be with us, talk about things. The gist for me is Miad's a dollar bull, a euro and cable bear, and we'll see how things develop into next week. You could close out the hangout at any time, Miad. Have a great weekend.
You too, TJ, guys. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Okay. So, guys, kind of been a long day for me, long week. So you guys are sharing. There's been some nice scalps. Tolson's getting rich. Tocino's getting rich. Trading everywhere. Sinatra had a look I want to show about dollar bears. Where is that? Dixie bullish divergence in 1 hour. Let me show what Sinatra's looking at. Because I think there, still could be some follow through. Yeah, nice look, Sinatra. Looks like the second drive. Okay. Everyone thanks Sinatra. Looks like we have one, we have two. Maybe we get a rally into early next week and then finish it off down around 96.70, 96.50. Excellent look from Sinatra. Everyone thanks Sinatra for his Dixie view. A lot of you guys are becoming Divergence fans here, I've noticed. Thank you, Sinatra. Everyone have a good week. Nice top pick in the Euro by Tocino. I think Ricardo took it too. I forgot what Ricardo's target was before he left. Looks like we're already off about 40, 50 pips or so from the high in the Euro. So you gamblers, you short-term traders, nice work. I think I'm going to wrap it up a little early today. I want to start thanking everyone individually. Let's see who's here to thank. I want to thank Mauricio, BW, Cyric, Dion, Forex Pipper, FX John, how are you? Ibby, Jay Carell, Mark S50, Mystic, Ricardo, Sinatra, SW, Tessino, and all you anonymous people out there. Looking forward to having another great week with everyone next week. I really don't think anyone should have been surprised with the dollar move that we've had in the last few days. We were looking for it. So we'll take a look next week as seen as this dollar break for real, for a big break in the dollar. I don't think so. I want to see where a lot of things are at. Okay. Bottom long term. Want to see where things are at. I've been talking about the equinox. Norm Winsky's cluster around the 23rd to 25th, I think is going to be important. Whichever direction markets are going into that time frame, I think is going to be significant. What do you guys think? So we're only about 2.5, 3 weeks away from that. We have a couple of eclipses to pay attention to based upon Norm's work. So why don't we wrap it with what was the best thing that happened to each and every one of you this week? Nice trading, Mark. Thank you, Mystic, for providing your work. Why don't we wrap it with the highlight of your week? What was the highlight of your week? Highlights? Ashraf interview. Getting out of gold. Sinatra being with his son. Miad. Pound Aussie shorts taking a walk. Nice, Dion. Pipper 2 hours and Lara every day. So my wrap-up's going to be brief. And it all comes down to this, that we correctly identified this 98.50 resistance level for the dollar to at least correct this recent advance. That's manifesting. I'm looking at 96.5 as a fib retracement, kind of a line in the sand. I think if we start getting through 6.5, maybe we could challenge these lows. But my bias is to look for a dollar buying opportunity, a euro shorting opportunity, a pound shorting opportunity when I see the Dixie between 96.5 and 96 in the coming days, if that manifests. Use Less Leverage is one of the favorite songs by Casino. But we have a new song, so I think I'll wrap it with You Ain't Nothing But a Drawdown. What do you think? Wrap it with You Ain't Nothing But a Drawdown? Huh? Ready? You ain't nothing but a drawdown and a margin call. You ain't nothing but a drawdown and a margin call. But I ain't scared, 'cause I still believe the call. Never said I was perfect, but I'm more right than wrong. Never said I was perfect, but I'm more right than wrong. Because that would be a lie, and I could look you in the eye. Watch me fly. You ain't nothing but a drawdown and a margin call. You ain't nothing but a drawdown and a margin call. But I ain't scared, 'cause I still believe the call. Have a great weekend, everyone. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Look at your weekly charts over the weekend. And I'll be back with you, God willing, on Monday. Right? Nice work, Larians. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see everyone on Monday. Deal? We have a deal. I'll see everyone on Monday. All right, everyone. See you guys. Adios. I'm breathless.